Hi, I don't know what kind of conversations are going on in your homes, but a lot of parents are reaching out to me very worried and very concerned about the deeply negative or severely negative words that their children are using to describe how they are feeling, to describe their emotions. Look, you and I were raised to be very careful with our words. We were raised to not invite negativity or bad luck or evil spirits or whatever it is, however you were raised, whatever was used to get you to speak positively. But our children are not like that. So you hear things like, I hate this, this is the worst day of my life, this is the most stupidest rule, I am useless, I am so stupid. They keep saying, I'm so stupid, what is wrong with me? They verbalize it. Okay, the reality is that we have those thoughts as well, but they are internal. So that's our internal dialogue. Our children are verbalizing. And it's very unsettling for us because we don't know what to do. It's a very unfamiliar space for us. And sometimes it gets a little bit dark because they start talking about how they don't want to live anymore, how they just don't see the reason why they should be alive. Sometimes if they don't verbalize it, they are writing them somewhere, they are talking to their friends in their chat, in the chats, on Discord, whatever form of social platform they are on. And it's very worrying for parents. I've had parents come to me and ask me, should I be worried? Should I be concerned? Does my child need a therapist? Does my child need an assessment? Because they're using very big, strong words that make us uncomfortable. So let's talk about that. So number one, we need to remember that the world we are raising our children in is a world that normalizes exaggeration. And especially the online world, it rewards big words, big statements. There's so much competition to stand out. So the bigger the words, the bolder the statements, the better you get, the better the attention you get. So that's their norm. Coupled with that is because they have so much information coming at them, again, being on the online world, and it's just a fast-paced world. I mean, we agree, whether it's online or offline, it's become a fast-paced world. Our children are on highly stressed. They are on stress response most of the time. And you and I, with better capacities to manage and to process stressful situations, we find ways, whether they are healthy or unhealthy, to cope and deal with the stress. But our children do not have that. They still have the part of the brain that is responsible for that. It's still under constructions. We've talked about that over and over. So the reality is that they have so much coming at them, but they are incapacitated in how to let off steam. So because of those two reasons, what comes out is big, it's overwhelming, it is negative. And we need to understand that. We need to understand the world our children are in, but we also need to be aware of how we are interpreting that. So here's what we need to remember. Not every big word is a crisis. And in a separate video, I'm going to talk about when to worry and when to look for help, when to be more concerned so that you can seek support. But I want us to just figure this out together in very, very simple ways. Remember, our children do not have the capacity to be able to express themselves and use the right words that we are expecting them to use because of the world that they are in. So it's our job to help them find the right words. It's not our job to shut it down and tell them, don't speak negatively, or start correcting them on the go because we've been triggered. Like for real, we've been triggered, But the reality is that we need to be able, we are the ones who are going to be able to create the environment for them to find the right words to use. So how do we do that? Let us learn to be open and curious about the statements that they are making. Rather than shut them down quickly, step back, just lean back and be curious. Say a curious statement. I love to tell parents, try to be as detached as possible from the things that are happening with your child. So in a very detached way, just say, that's very interesting. Wow, that's such a big word. Hate? It's a big word. You can say it without judgment, in a very detached way. Or, especially with the younger children, and it also works actually with teenagers, on a scale of 1 to 5, how terrible is that? What that does is help our kids step back and be like, oh, let me actually think about it. All right? So we need to help our children expand on what statement it is that they're using that seems negative, in whatever way that works for you, because we are all different, we are wired differently, we communicate differently. But the thing is to help our children find the right vocabulary over time by asking those probing questions, those curious questions, those questions that help them step back. And what neuroscience is showing us is that if we are able to lean into those negative emotions a little bit and just be comfortable with them and be able to name them and explore them a little bit more, then the brain doesn't have to make up stories and say, this is the worst day or we are going to die. So we are giving your children an opportunity to explore those negative emotions in a safe environment.